interest in doing it.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, I worked as a consultant when this first came out, and I was the consultant planner. I was working for Teske Associates at the time, and I had two of the communities that I handled came out on the list. And one just kind of at first refused to do it, and then eventually, they did put together a plan. The other was at something like 9.9%. I mean, they were just under the threshold, and they had a housing development coming in that actually was going to be affordable, and they just said we aren't going to do anything, because by the next time the list comes around, we'll be fine.
How,
And that worked out.
how do they determine affordability?
Oh, that's, I mean, I can't really answer that off the
Just
top of
define
my
a woman,
head.
huh?
I don't think I can
I can give you-
explain.
I can
I
give
can
you-
explain that. I mean, if you really.
I want to go home.
Right, exactly, yeah, I want to keep this short, but essentially, they're taking a look at the median income, this, using census data, taking a look at the median income, and then they determine.
Of a community
yeah,
or of
yeah,
a-
and it's that, so.
Region or, I
Yeah.
mean,
It's within the particular community, so.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the statute is fairly general. It says a housing, I'm sorry,
You have that.
in the case of owner-occupied dwelling units, housing that is affordable means housing in which mortgage, amortization, taxes, insurance, and condominium or association fees, if any, constitute no more than 30% of the gross annual household income for a household of the size that may occupy the unit. If it's a dwelling unit that is rented, housing that's affordable means housing for which the rent and utilities constitute no more than 30% of that same gross annual household income for the size of that may occupy the unit. So as far as the level of the ranking of affordability, I think Campton Hills is, I think, within the top 10, maybe like lowest. I mean, we're like at the top of the list for least affordable. The reason being is one, median home value, median income level is very high, median home value is very high, extremely low level of rental units in the village and multifamily housing. That's the biggest one. But combined with the other two, brings you to the top of the list. A couple other that are near the top of the list are similar in, communities in characteristic, more rural, not more rural, but larger homes, mostly developed, no rental units or no multifamily units. And then you have some like very, very affluent communities that just don't have a lot of housing units in them, or are very, very small and may only have a very small population. This is the whole state. So we're talking towns that have 100 people that live in them and towns that have 200,000. So, I mean, it's another difficulty with some communities that I can think of are if they're fully developed already and they're all single family. Some of the communities that are near Chicago, I think River Forest, for instance, has a very difficult time getting to that 10%. They were at, I know because I worked out their plan a few years back, and they were stuck at 9.5 or whatever it was for a very long time. Now they got to get to 15, and they're never going to get there.
Yeah.
But you go across Harlem Avenue into Oak Park, and they have a ton of multifamily, so they can get to that level.
But are you opening the door with the new annexation?
No, the.
Could they do something there?
Right, I mean, as currently proposed, it's their townhomes, which is a very small portion of the proposed development, the rest is all single family, so.
Right, but I mean, if somebody wanted to challenge the village and say,
Right.
well, you have an opportunity right now to build something.
If you don't have a plan in place that defines what you're going to do to get to 15%, then that would leave the village open, that could leave the village open to more concern. But, I mean, there are several things in the act that give you options of what you can do to come to that 15%. You don't have to say that, any development of that type, single-family residence, it doesn't matter how large the development is, includes a certain percentage of affordable units. The problem you could run into is if you don't have a plan that has been approved or updated, that has been passed or has been later updated, if an affordable development comes for proposal and it's denied, either outright or it's approved but with conditions that the developer feels would make it unreasonable to ever be built, they can appeal to the state, to this housing board, who can then take action against the village to essentially make the village approve the development.
But the new development is providing, in a sense, some possible affordable, I mean, if you're, townhomes might be
Sure.
more affordable, I guess.
Sure, and I imagine there will be a range of home values themselves, from smaller to larger, right.
Which is good
Right.
and bad.
Yeah, right.
We need to get some type of senior housing here. That's what really does it for a lot of communities.
Yeah,
That
it does,
pushes,
yeah.
that pushes them over
Right.
the threshold.
I'm curious, of the 44 communities, are there any that are next to us, or can you recognize?
I didn't really take a look. A lot are kind of North Shore communities, River Forest, and you get Winnetka, Kenilworth. Highland Park has been on the list since it first came out, and they have made honest, bona fide efforts to increase their affordable housing, and they just haven't really
Right.
made that much of a dent. Park Ridge is another one.
Towns like Volo are very high on the list, I mean, very low density.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
probably
yeah,
can't,
Wayne would be.
Yeah, right, yeah, yeah.
I would think Wayne.
because we're a lot like them.
Yeah,
in a sense.
And then there are a number of towns that are in more remote parts of the state, low density,
yeah,
large areas,
Right.
single-family homes, so.
yeah, yeah.
We're not really alone.
I just finished up a couple of my comments here. On the next page, under C, affordable housing policies and incentives. It just came up with expedited permit reviews and flexible zoning and density bonuses, which are not, I don't think, I'm just trying to give you some feedback.
Sure, yeah.
So expedited permit reviews, I don't know how that is defined. What's an expedited permit process, I guess they're trying to say, hey, what are we gonna do for incentives? Well, we're gonna get them an why would we I don't know if
Yeah,
that's my feedback. The other one is flexible zoning. I'm like, I have no idea what flexible zoning, we got zoning. And then the other was density bonuses. I'm not really sure what density bonuses are, so those kind of raise little red flags for me. So, I'd take a look at that if you are gonna tweak it, I'd look at those couple things. A little further down, under next steps, under item E, I think, item number 2 and 3, it says monitor potential affordable housing units and monitor the reservation rehabilitation. And you're like, what does it even mean? And I think the use of the word monitor is maybe not a good word. Maybe look for potential, or seek potential affordable housing, or look for renovation opportunities.
yeah.
I think that's the idea, is like, hey, can we be on the lookout for those opportunities that are out there? So, that's just a little bit of wordsmithing in there, but those are a couple suggestions I had, and that was it for me.
Yeah. For number 4, I would maybe say, periodically review the comprehensive plan, that's always advised.
Oh, yeah, it says review,
That's why
yeah,
I-
periodically, that's probably a good idea.
An argument could be made, take place like Elmhurst that had a lot of, nice homes, but then the McMansion thing, tear down started happening.
They're going the
And
other
so
direction.
that's something you might have a plan that would limit the extent of that kind of activity or something, that you couldn't just go in and tear down a community to make more expensive homes.
You're right, but I don't
I don't
think
know
it
how
would matter.
that's-
We could always change the plan, right? That's what we're saying. We
Yeah.
want to update the plan. for
Yeah,
that.
no,
Right.
that's just something off the top.
No,
How
I
do,
get
how do
that.
homes how does a community that's well-established as sort of being affordable become more expensive?
Right.
It's desirable to
Right.
live in, and therefore there's an economic incentive to
Right.
get rid of housing that is not as valuable, but then that kills your affordable.
Which is in a
housing.
great location. Yeah, so the 1,500 square foot or the 1,100 square foot house gets torn down, so the 3,000, 4,000 square foot
But
mansion
zoning
can be put up.
covers that, I think, some of that.
Yeah.
For what, tear downs
For,
or?
yeah, I mean, so that it would be out of the trending character of the neighborhood.
So you asked about communities in the area. Lily Lake is actually number 12. Campton Hills is 11. Lily Lake is number 12.
So is it better to be higher or lower?
It's better to be lower.
Okay,
Um,
so they're right next door to us, and they're about the
Campton,
same.
yeah, Campton Hills, its affordable housing share is 2.4%. Lily Lake is 2.5, but you have considerably more housing units. You have 3,498 total year-round units, 83 of which are considered affordable, versus Lily Lake's 406, of which 10 are considered affordable. But no other communities in Kane County are on the list, as of 2023. Before Campton Hills, you have Kildare, Timberlane, Inverness, Riverwoods, Kenilworth, Tower Lakes, Deer Park, Western Springs, South Barrington, Lincolnshire.
And so
Almost all
that's-
North Shore except for Western Springs and,
So it's just municipalities, incorporated, only incorporated communities that fall into that?
yes, correct.
Right, and there is a
Yeah.
threshold, I can't remember what the population threshold is, if they're under a certain,
They're small enough.
yeah, like 500 or something, and they're exempt from this.
All right, I think we've given you some feedback on that.
Yeah.
Do we have anything for a is there a need for a special meeting, is what I'm trying to ask, 2 weeks from today? Is there a need?
No, we
anything?
have,
So you
we
nothing
have
on-
2 applications. They've
For a
already
regular
been, the public
meeting.
notice is already, it's already going out in the paper anyway, for this, what is
10th,
September 10th, I think?
September
And,
10th.
yeah, well, don't quote me on the date, I think it's the 10th. So we have two applications.
You have briefly, just like, as a zoning or
They're
variance?
both rezonings. One
Rezoning.
is in Wasco. It's a house that was zoned, I can't remember, I think it's C1, the commercial zone, and they want to just have it the residential zone. And that's what it's been used as.
Okay,
And in the other, it would be a subdivision and a rezone. Down on Harley Road, Harley?
yeah.
Down there.
That was previously subdivided, wasn't it? It was like 5, 10 lots or something like that? It was a long time ago.
I haven't really, I
It's
haven't
okay,
really
but
looked
that
at the
just, so
application.
there's no, our next regular scheduled meeting, I believe, is September
Technically,
10th.
The 10th, yeah.
September
So-
10th.
September 10th?
Okay.
I don't know, but I've been heard of the possibility, and it's very fluid, there's a possibility 2 weeks after that, September 24th, so I would just kind of hopefully have you pencil it in, but there's no guarantee, but there could be something coming on that. So I'd just like you to keep that as an option too. So that would be a special meeting. But so right now, it's just our next regular scheduled meeting, it would be September 10th. All right, so does anybody else have anything else they'd like to discuss before I take a motion to adjourn? Anything else? No? Okay. Who updates the calendar on the village website? Is that Tracy or?
Tracy or Michelle will, who actually does it, Tracy's kind of in charge of it, but
Okay.
Michelle, I think, can do it as well.
Okay.
And, I'll pass on to her that there's not going to be any meeting.
All right, yeah.
You know.
And then-
I don't know if that's on the village calendar.
Yeah, I'll try to too, but maybe if you can, just once in a while, just take a look and to see if the minutes are posted, because they haven't been posted in a timely fashion.
Yeah, and
They're
I
all
thought I'd
done.
sent the,
Yeah.
like we, the last meeting, I thought I'd sent that. but,
Good, okay, all right.
Tracy's been on vacation, I do. know
Okay.
for-
All right, well, good. All right, I just want to say, first of all, thank you, every one of you. Thank you very much for spending your time and giving your input and helping the community, so I really appreciate everybody doing that work, so thank you very much. Motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Mr. McKelvey, motion to adjourn, have a second?
Second.
Mr. Kopeck, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, motion carries. See you in a month.
Meeting ended 20:55.
Well,
Number 36. And Wayne is on there too, but they're listed as defunct.
Wayne is on the list? I would think they would be.
Yeah, they're like 20 something. Yeah, I missed it because I was just looking at Kane County. It said
I'm surprised we had that much.
I saw they.
forgot. And I,
Anything
I'm not
that's
big
affordable,
and it's, oh, by the way.
borderline waiting to be torn down or.
Affordability for housing throughout the country. It's crazy. 450 It's knocking young people out. So the idea of owning a home, that dream is
That's
somewhat
the problem.
down.
That's
Well,
the.
some corporations.
Now, this is gonna get worse.
So corporations buying up properties probably doesn't help,
No.
because they've been doing rentals with, houses, just regular houses. But, the big thing is until the baby boomers give it up, then there should be a little flood of houses on the market. However, they're not necessarily gonna be affordable. They're gonna be still expensive, it's not as expensive as they are now. Because they're, the young people aren't gonna want the big
My
mansion.
son sold his house